Hello. I'm hoping I don't have problems with my sound. You are welcome, Holly. Can you hear me? Holly, can you hear me? I just changed my sound. Okay. I think this is going to work better. I don't know. Still trying to figure out sound on here. Hi, Gina. Thanks for answering my question, too. I'm going to give it a few more minutes. I don't know if people can't find me today or what. So what's everybody been up to? Working hard, hardly working? Oh, Gina, that's not good. Sick in bed. No, not this time of. I think being sick this time of year is the worst. Oh, Holly, I'm coming to your house. Told my husband the other day, I said, wish I knew somebody with a pool. I'm hot. Good morning, Kathy. Okay, we're getting a few coming in. Everybody remember to make a comment in the comments because that's how I give away my cards. So I'll give it a few more seconds. Hi, Gail, Cindy, Aaron, all kinds of people coming on. That's good. Ramona, and Pam. Pam snuck in there. I didn't even see her name pop up. She was quick. Um, if you guys don't mind sharing my video, I would really like it. Just because I need to get more people knowing where I'm at. But anyway, it's been going pretty good. Forgot it was Tuesday. I think the holiday messes us up. Even though I didn't do a thing for the holiday yesterday, I was lazy, really, really lazy. But that's okay. It was fun being lazy. And yeah, but anyway, I am going to get started. I am actually, and that's something I don't like to do, but I'm producing a card pretty much like the one I saw as far as the technique. I will say Tina Zink is the one that has done it. If you watch Tina Zink, you've probably seen her. Not. She's a Canadian demonstrator, and She videos and stuff, but I thought she did a great video on this set, and I liked it. I'm gonna show it to you in the catalog. It's called Under the Moon. Not a typical set that a lot of people would get. I'm gonna pull my phone down. Just see it better. There, maybe that'll work. Here, let's pull that up. Focus. Okay, it's called Under the Moon. And this is what I am going to be using. I don't have it too close. I'm like too close. Why it's not focusing right. There we go. Good lord. Okay. See if we got it together here. And I hate to say, I have been doing stuff that's so easy. It's not that this part is hard. It's got a lot of different stamp pads to it and stuff like that. So I'm going to explain it as I go. Here's the stamp set. If you haven't noticed, here's a couple of cards. I made one similar to this that we are not going to do unless we have time, which is this right here. It's a little different, but a little bit, you know. I have this one done, and then I saw someone do monochromatic cards with this, so I think my favorite color right now is pretty in pink, and I'm not really a pink person, but I like this color. I did a monochromatic card in pretty in pink, and it says wishing you comfort. That's what it says. So those are the two I'm not going to do unless we have some time. So let's show you what we have. Move that out of my way. Here's the PDF, and the PDF to this card has all the directions. So I kind of wrote them out in words as the best that I could in doing it. Here is the card. We are going to do this card, and this card is a blank piece of what basic white cardstock. And then we will progress from there. Here's what we're going to start with. And it's a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of cardstock because we will be cutting it down to size after we're done. Okay. Hello, Ardeen. I don't know if I've seen you before, but thanks for coming. These on. So I kind of say hi to people as they come on, but I might miss you when I start doing this. So here's the card. Here's what we're going to start with. Here's the rest of the supplies that we're going to be using. We got a piece of Summer Splash. Yep, Summer Splash cardstock. This was the same size, 5.5 by 4.25, and I trimmed it down with the largest die in the perennial postage, which is right here. And then I have a 5 by 3 3/4 piece that will be going on the inside. And let me show you the inside of the card. As I told you, I start out with a bigger piece here, and then we're going to cut it down with the deckled rectangle. So we put the negative inside of our card with a piece of white cardstock. So when you open that, you've brought that whole outside inside. You bought this set, Gail? I'm surprised because everybody says you pick out the stamps that nobody will get. And I'm like, well, that's my goal. Well, that's good, Kathy. I mean, you could use a lot of sets, especially the tropical stamps. Great doing this. It doesn't have to be this set. It's just that's what I'm doing it. Yeah, I thought I'd use the negative. I have to cut it down. So we're going to do all of this in this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and fold my card just because it's easier to have a half a piece of card in here than a whole piece. Lay it in my computer. Bring out my big 5.5 by 4.25 inch piece. I will have my mat out. I usually don't use a mat either, and I just got way out of my ball game on doing this card because I haven't done cards like this for so long because I've been like easy peasy all the time. So then I had to get in the groove here. So there we go. I'm putting this down because I'm going to be very messy. Just to let you know. So let's get started. Make sure I got everything in the way. Okay, the first thing we're going to use out of the stamp set is this is the water stamp. Okay, and we will be using that. That's going to make the whole scenery. I got me a cheat sheet over here. Let me get my cheat sheet that's got, you'd wonder how I'd know what's on here because I got everything. Look at this piece of paper. But it's got scribbled on here what I need to know just because I want to make it right. So what I'm going to do for now is I call the short side. This I call the long side, and that's in the directions. Wonder why the audio is cutting out. Could be because I walked away from my um, microphone for a minute. So I'm going to start with the negative down like this for the first one. So we're going to start with our, and I'm using all the in colors. So I'm starting out with Shy Shamrock because it is the darker green. And I tell you what, this pad is the juiciest pad I've ever seen. And if you can see it, see all the bubbles? I don't want those bubbles in there. So what I did was I took a blending brush and I'm just going to blend that in because I don't want all those bubbles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp this at the bottom. And it's going to look a lot darker than what it's going to turn out. Then I'm going to take for one side and I'm going to just do this real quick because I don't want those bubbles, like I said. Then I'm going to come to the side, stamp a bit, then I'm going to come to the other. See what I did? Then I come to the other side. Doesn't have to be even. It doesn't even have to get all the ink on there or whatever. And it's going to look like one hot mess. So don't pay attention to my hot mess. Well, Brenda, you commented, huh? And you're on my live. It shows. Hi, Carmen. But anyway, it shows your comment up on my screen. I have two monitors going. One so I can see comments. Okay, we're done with this. So now we are going to take and use Summer Splash. And now to use Summer Splash, this one has bubbles too. And I just really do believe that they gave me some juicy stamp pads. Until I use them a lot, I'm going to be rubbing ink off. Now I'm going to put the long side down. And I'm going to line that up right where I was before. Stamp. I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm just going to rub that and stamp. Side, rub in. And oop, I got my line right there. I'm going to try to get that line out of there. Don't want a line in there if I can help it. But it won't matter in the big scheme of things. So there we have two colors of water. And you can see the difference in them. You see there's some white in there and stuff, and all that is okay. That's like little waves in the water. So we have those two colors done. And you can actually take, if you don't want that to be real white, just after you get done, just lightly go over that, and it takes the starkness of the white away. It still leaves it. So now we're going to do the sun, and here is our sun with about everything else attached to it. Here's our sun. What we're going to do, we're going to use Daffodil Delight, which is not an in color, but it's a yellow. We need yellow. We're going to use So what I do with this, I, because I like to do things the fast way. Well, hi, Lisa and Nadine. I'm glad you guys found us. I'm going to stamp that in yellow, and then I want my bottom half right through here to be orange. So I'm just going to take that and kind of curve it around on the orange. If a little bit of orange gets at the top, it's no big deal. Okay. So, and this is the same way. I have bubbles at the top. So I'm just going to pat those bubbles out. Okay. I'm going to take my sun and I'm going to line it up right at the top of where my water ended. I'm going to hold that down because the yellows tend to not show up as well in this distressed stamp. So I'm going to hold that down so all that ink will release into the cardstock instead of stay on the stamp. And there's my sun. And there's my sun. Let me make sure I have, and I do have to clean the water stamp after color, basically, because it will kind of be messy if I don't return colors. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the peach, and you see I only have a little area there. I'm just going to, and I'm going to get my bubbles off of my stamp. I don't like that look there. And I'm just going to stamp. You can see I got a little bit of green still in there, even though I cleaned it. That was a dark one. That's good though. We're going to have, gives it dimension. Green again. And then I get it on my brush. So I need to get all that out. Okay, let's ink again. And then we're going to okay, we got a light spot. We got all different kinds of spots on there now. Now it really looks bad, right? Yeah, those darn bubbles are a pain, let me tell you. So, I find that just taking your blending brush, let me make sure that okay. Now we have a little bit of a mess. But it's gonna get prettier, I promise. First time I did this, I was like, "Oh my gosh, my card's never gonna turn out." But it did after we got going. Now we're gonna bring in Pretty in Pink. Once you use these after a while, they shouldn't be so bubbly. I mean, mine is really bubbly. I didn't notice my other stamps or ink being that bubbly. So we're going to do peach. Just drop my blending brush. I mean, Pretty in Pink. And then we're going to add some pink. I better stamp off on this one because I want to add some pink down in here. Just use this pink. I like that pink sky. Okay, and then the last one we're going to do is Petunia Pop. I'm gonna leave my pink out though. And with my Petunia Pop, I am not going to worry about cleaning this stamp. I'm just going to stamp off with it. And I'm going to stamp off. This one's really dark. Make sure I get all the bubbles out. And then I'm going to stamp off, bubbles out, stamp off. I remember to stamp off all the time on that one. That was good. Okay, now I'm just going to take what's left over and add some more pink down in here. So now what I'm going to do, if you see a lot of white in there, which is okay, but I am going to take, first off, I'm going to get some of that out of there so it's not so dark in my pinks, and I'm going to rub that over all of it. I just liked the pink when I did that. Just kind of rub that, give it a shades of pink in there. So can you see my sky? Okay. I know you guys are wondering where in the heck is she going with this? I'm going to bring my oranges in, and where my oranges down here, I'm just going to brighten up the bottom of that without trying to. So I brightened up the bottom a little bit. Okay, now we're ready for the next part. Here we go. Here we go, girlfriends. Now we are going to make our little horizontal line here for the land. So what I'm going to do, and in my directions, I think I actually have that you can do the cloud first. I'm going to do this down here first. It doesn't matter. You just got to, you want to line that up where you will not get the moon. And this is not a sticky, it is a stickiness, but the sticky's not on the long side. So what I did was I just took and put a piece of tape here and the sticky holds it there. So anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to get out some finger daubers. And I'm going to do pecan pie first. Now my pecan pie might already have ink in it, so I'm not going to ink it yet. What I'm going to do is just dab and see if I do. Well, I have a little bit, not a lot. I can pick up a little bit. I'm going to go off my card. And just add a little bit of pecan pie. Mm. Let me move these out of the way. I told you it's going to take a lot of ink, and here I've been doing all these easy cards for you, and now I'm like, hey, this was a little bit more detailed. This has the early espresso, and it might have enough in it, and I am just going to go over that line. I'm going to pull that up. And see what that looks like. I'm going to put it back down. I forgot I need to do something else real quick before I get that up. I'm going to put some trees in there. Now, the trees I got out of the Grassy Grove, I do believe. Yeah, the Grassy Grove. I was just trying to look for trees that I thought would look nice. You can use any kind of trees from any kind of stamp set you have if you want to put the trees in there. I'm going to use early espresso. So, in doing that, Leave that there. I'm gonna get out an extra piece of scrap paper because I don't want to get it on the top of my card. I've messed my trees up a couple times, and that's why I'm trying to be careful. So I'm gonna ink my trees, and I want to stamp off lightly just to get some of the ink off. Then I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna do my trees. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Put this ink pad up, getting in these dark colors can be crazy. So anyway, that's the browns that we used in there. You could use blacks if you wanted. We're gonna be using blacks on the dolphins and stuff, so I think using the browns on the trees and that gives more dimension in there. So let me put that stamp up. We're gonna pull this paper off. Let me get this up out of the way. And I'll hold this up so you can see it. Can you see that? So we have our trees, we have our sun. So now what I'm going to do, if you notice I have some color down here, I want to put a little bit more green down there. So I'm going to bring out my black, and I'm just going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp off, make sure I got the bubbles off. And I'm going to stamp some more green down here, right? That line. See if it helps it. You can still see it a little bit. I don't think it's going to matter once I get everything else in there. I can take my brush and probably cover it some. Let's try it that way. When you guys use blending brushes, do you have like one for all blues and then one for all greens and stuff like that? I do. And then I labeled them like this says greens, has my name on it because everybody else can use it. Thanks, Brenda. I'm sorry you're having trouble. I don't know what the issue would be, but we can try to figure it out. Okay, now what I'm going to do next, just because I want to get it out of the way, is I'm going to stamp my cloud. The clouds are going to be stamped with Versamark and then heat embossed with white powder. Ink that really good. I can remove all this stuff right here out of the way. I don't think I'm going to need it. I hope. I'm done making messes. So what I'm going to do is I've got that inked up. I'm going to stamp my cloud. I'm going to stamp it right over here, close to the moon, or the sun, not the moon. We can tell it worked because it's stuck. I use coffee filters because I'm a cheap person. And I use the same coffee filter over and over and over again as long as I'm using the same color embossing powder. I just lay that on there, flick and get the hard leftover stuff away. Make sure that it's all nice, and then I can just bend this back up and pour it in there. And I shake what's left out into the garbage can. And that's how I use my white. Or that's how I use my embossing powder, not just my white, any color. I'm gonna bring in my heat gun for a minute. Best thing when you're heating, wait till you feel it get hot here. Don't put your hand all the way up there. It's kind of hot. Do not wave like this. You'll never get done. You want to just hold it at one spot and watch it start to turn. That's the magic. If you haven't ever eaten Boss, you can see that I don't move fast. Just make sure you got it all. There you go. I had one little spot that wasn't heated. And there we go. We have our cloud now here. Now we're ready to use our black. And what we are going to do is we are going to use, let's put the birds on first. And the birds came from the set, and so did the sentiment I used came from this beside me. I used those little birds up there, and then I used the celebrating you today. And I put that on there because I thought on the inside you could put happy birthday, happy Father's Day, whatever you want. So we're going to ink up the birds, and we're just going to put them. There's our little birds. I ran out of little blocks when I was putting things on blocks. So as you notice, which I do sometimes, put one on each side if they're small and can use them. So, and then we are going to do the boat. Here's our little sailboat. You can put that anywhere you want on in your water. And I'm going to put him right here so he's up in the sun. I hope he's not crooked. I'm going to also hold that down since it's black and it's a solid image. I'd like for it to be as black as I can get it. There we go. That looks nice so far. Okay, then we're going to bring in our little dolphins. Here's the double dolphins. We'll put them like right here. Same thing, I hold that down and let that black just soak into the paper. Because that's what you really need. Now here's the little dolphin. We'll put him in there. And about right here. And then that is all we need the black for. Okay, we're done with that. We're almost done. I think I forgot to have a piece of paper. Get a scrap real quick. I'm a scrappy girl. I need a piece of crumb cake. So let me cut a piece of this real quick. This probably isn't. Yeah, it's long enough. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take and I'm going to tear this down here. And tear it towards you. And that way you get this white showing. And that will be like a, I want to say, white coming in. And I'm just going to, at the bottom, at the back side, I'm going to add some glue. And I'm just going to add this piece. And I know it's a little bit longer, but it's not going to matter in the big scheme of things. It's going to be cut down. I will cut that off right now because I will end up using this negative. So let's go ahead and cut that now. I don't know where it's going to be cut at. Okay, so our card is basically done except for doing our saying. We have to do this. So let's move this out of the way. We are going to bring in the cut die machine. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take, let me shift this from this. I want to take my deckled rectangles and I'm going to take the second from the largest. Take it. I'm going to bring in my, I'm going to stand up now, girls, so I can see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see where I want this to cut because I want to get some of everything. And I think I'm going to go over a little bit because I'm going to be cutting this down so it doesn't matter. I got to cut that part down. Okay, I'm going to just lay this back over here and I'm going to put my hand on there so that I don't move it. Should have put it at an angle. You're going to hear the crunching. Okay, we're done with that. Let's move it out of the way. So that's what we're left with, okay? Then we have this piece right here. This is going to go on our inside. So I'm going to bring in the paper cutter real quick because you can't cut it until you're done. And I want this to measure 5 1/4 by 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 5 1/4 here. So I can leave that little brown strip too. Slice that. And then this side's longer. I want to do 4. So looks pretty even. There we go. That did pretty good. Okay, there we have our little piece for the inside. And I'm going to take this piece that measures 5 by 3 3/4, and that's going to fit right here on the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that down. And I'm not gluing it to the inside of my card and then this because I'd probably mess up. I'm just going to lay this down. This is a great way to use your negative. And there we go. We have our negative. So now I'm just going to run some more glue around all of it. Making sure I glue both pieces down. I'll just put this in my card. And I actually wasn't done with, I'm going to put some birds in there. I forgot I wanted to put birds into it. Then they'll have a place to sign. There we go. So that's the inside of the card finished. Put the outside together. Put this over here where I won't lose it. My biggest fear. So we've got this. We're going to just adhere this right here. Well, hi, Cindy. How are you? Glad you could make it. Everybody that's on here, make sure that you comment because I'll be giving away this card today. Okay, what we're going to do, I wanted to make sure that was nice and folded. Make sure I got that on the right side. This note here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to put dimensionals on it to give it more depth. And you guys know me, I like for my cards to be held up well, especially if I'm sending them out. Okay, I think I got them all. So this is going to go here. Okay, the last thing I have to do is take a piece of scrap, do my sentiment, and here again I'm going to use my Versamark. And on this dark paper, I am going to use, if I can find my embossing buddy. Here it is. This thing is so old, but it still works. And I'm just going to wipe my paper with that. It helps keep the static down for your embossing powder. And this comes with, you can get the tray for embossing, comes with a few tools, and comes with this. Stampin' Up! Does have that. It's nice. I just am so used to using coffee filters. You're going to have to practice. It took me 3 times to really get the hang of, because my pads are so cheap, that's why I didn't like that. Okay, I'm just going to stamp my saying here. I'm actually going to try to get it straight. Might be. I don't want to get embossing powder on my ink pad. That's usually not a good thing to do. What I do with my words is I usually put them on, pick it off to see what's going to come off, and then there we go. Now we're going to, whoops, let's put this back in. And we're going to heat emboss that. Yeah, I've not been doing such technical cards lately, so this is kind of different. I like doing it though. Okay. I did the wrong thing. I did beside me all the way, but that's okay. We can use that. And I think that will go right there. I don't want to cover up the birds. So what I did with that is I just put some glue on the one side. Didn't glue it all the way over because it will hang over. And since that's got the dimensionals on it, you don't want the glue sticking. So, and I just want to push that right inside the line of my card so that it doesn't hang out and get bent and pull off. So here's the card. I hope it blurry to me. On one side gets blurry. I think it's 'cause I'm moving. And then there's the inside. I'm glad you made it, Maria. That's good. I love scenery cards too. Well, thank you, Sharon. It was fun to make. And I mean, once you get the hang of it and you start doing it, it gets easier and easier and easier. And you can see just with placements how my card looks different from here to here. Um, you don't get any two of these to turn out alike, and that's what I like. I like for it to be different. Now, I will show you my first one I made that's a hot mess, but I mounted it. And the reason it's a hot mess is because I had made a mess here and I did my horizon line is really thick. But I'm gonna show it to you just because I want you to know when you make this mistake and stuff, you really can use it, not what you like, but you could use I could use this. But I didn't give up. I went back and with this card, I knew what I had to do differently. But here was my first card. And see how dark that got? Because I had some mess ups down here and I had to fix and I had to put my tree higher. So it just looks like a bigger horizon going on. But that's the difference. So this is the one I did today. This was my first one. This was my third. I have the second one in the garbage. I don't mind showing you it because I loved my whole scenery part, but I forgot to leave my mask on, so my trees were in the water. I didn't like that, so I threw this one away because I could cut this off right here, probably, but wouldn't have any water. I could do water underneath of it, I think. But anyway, this is my garbage. So those are the cards. Now let me show you again. I usually don't go this long on the video, and but here's another way to do it. It's just simpler, and I actually added, and you can't see it, I don't think, is the Wink of Stella onto my sun. Now, what I did with this sun is I used my Stamparatus and kept stamping it until I got it really dull. So that's what I did with it. I lined it up once I got line done, but you can see that's crooked even. But anyway, that's just a simple card. Then if you wanna do monochromatic, you can do it in any color. Pulled out the premium pink, did it, and, but yeah, I enjoy showing you my mistakes because, we all make mistakes. And I know a lot of people think, "Oh, they've been doing cards so long, they don't make mistakes." Well, heck yeah, I make a lot of mistakes, but I wanted to show them to you anyway. So this was the first one. This was the third one. Second one's in the garbage can, so I'm not gonna use it. And, so anyway, these are my cards today. You guys can get the directions over on my Stamp Crazy VIP group. And I will tell you, like, when I tell you, like, here it says number 4, use the peach pie or the daffodil light to the water image on the sides of the sun image. Do this with the water image with the longer edge at the bottom. So I told you on each way which way to put this water, whether it's gonna be down this way or over this way. So, anyway, you can, I did write the directions out like that if you like using the PDFs. I tried to get it really self-explanatory. You can always come back to the video though. If you do make a card, and even if it's not with this stamp set, I mean, because I don't expect a lot of people to have this one, but any stamp set that can make a scenery, and especially like a beach scenery like this, with water and the horizon, the sun or the moon or whatever you want to use. There is a moon in here, and I plan on doing something with that, and that's right here. I'm gonna do some cards with that, and I'll probably post them when I do that. But anyway, I just wanted to bring this to you guys today. I thought it was a nice card. It's very beautiful. It can be used for it's great Father's Day. if you make Father's Day cards. So, that'd be a great way to use it. But I've kept you guys longer than I usually do. For that, I'm sorry, but sometimes when you're showing stuff, you just have to take a little bit more time to explain it. Um, but that's the card. And also look down here at my water at my sand lines. Like this one's barely got sand here. That's not gonna matter when you cut this out either. Well, you know what I've always heard, Gail. The water in the Atlantic Ocean is more green and the water in the Pacific is more blue. And that is true. Because I've been to both oceans. And so this is my Atlantic side or the Gulf of Mexico side because it's got more of a greener tint to it. And that, but I like the green and I love this color behind it. So anyway, yeah, I want you guys to try this technique with whatever stamps you have. Just do a technique and see what you come up with because all three of these look so different. Look at the waters in all three of them. They're different. And so you guys have a great day and a great week, and I'll hope to see you soon. Okay? Have a good one. Bye.